Hello and welcome. This video is going to be a what sold video, and it's going to be everything that sold for me the first week of March. Again, I'm trying to get everything caught up. Miss Moxie will be down here playing with the cardboard, so if you hear some random scraping, it's her. Just know that. Also, if you see a little white tip, that's her tail. She will either join us or not. I don't know, maybe she's enjoying the ThredUp box, which will be in a later video. But I do have a few sales to share with you for this week. Again, this is March 1st to March 7th. And I have only one Poshmark sale to share with you. And this came in a ThredUp box. Speaking of ThredUp boxes, I'm just glad it sold and I didn't have to redonate it. It's a pair of pink universal thread, which is a Target brand, but I listed everything from this box because it was a denim box and I didn't know any better because this is from the very first box that I got from ThredUp, which was a denim box. So I was just grateful that I didn't have to redonate it, and it did eventually go to a new home. It was a perfectly serviceable pair of pink jeans, and I hope the new owner loves it. And it's definitely great for spring. Here is Miss Moxie. She has decided to join us, but again, you just see her little flag flying. And now we're gonna have to completely just move her because, hello baby, I need to talk about eBay sales now. So, I did have a comment saying that the jacket with the t-shirt is a vibe, and since I'm bringing the milk braids back because my hair is finally long enough to do it again, it just seemed a little weird to have the milk braids and a punk t-shirt, so I don't think this helps that. I've just decided to put three things together and hope it works, so you guys let me know if it works or not. So now we're going to talk about eBay. I sold these bio gold leather wedges. I think these either were something I picked up when I went thrifting at the bins with Brett, so I paid $3.50 for these, or I got them in a ThredUp box, which means I paid like $6 for them. Either way, they sold for $18, so I made a good profit. I don't know which of the two it is. Shoes are like bottom tier for what I like to list and do anything with, but there is really good money there. I know there are plenty of resellers on YouTube that literally just specialize and make their living off of shoes, and I'm so happy for them. But it is not something that I really like to do. It's not necessarily, first of all, they take up a lot of space for me, and even though I pretty much just stick them in that one shelf. That video is up here when I change my shelves out. I just don't like storing them, and I don't like cleaning them. So I do actually like shoes though, because I have a lot of them personally. I just don't like necessarily reselling them. But they sold. They like kind of look like Birkenstocks. They had a wedge to them, but these are like a comfort shoe. I don't know, they were cute, and they're made in Italy, and they sold. All right, so just like the last video when I talked about this returned item, it was actually not returned to me. I mentioned before that I do buyer paid returns. If the buyer actually returns the item, they get their original shipping back and a full refund. They get a full refund, they just pay for the shipping to return it to me. Not everybody does it that way. I don't disclose that I do that other than in these videos, which, you know, some of you guys buy stuff for me, so now you know. But like to the general public, it's not anywhere in there in my return policy. And the reason I do that is for this reason specifically. This person did not return my item, but if I did free returns and they didn't return the item, sometimes eBay sides with them still. It's messy. Returns are in general messy. And this person did not return my item. So a couple days before it would automatically close out because they didn't ship the item, they opened a case and eBay sided with me because of the fact that they didn't return the item. So I actually got the full amount of money. So this sold for $18. This is a vintage 90s Cleveland Indians polo. They said it just didn't fit right, and like I said, I automatically accept the return. They just never send it back to me, so I get to keep all the money and they got to keep the shirt. So there you go. This is a great example of why I do buyer paid returns. It's for that reason. And because of the fact, again, that they didn't return the item, if they leave any negative feedback at all, any feedback they leave because of the fact they did not send the item back, automatically gets removed. So there's no chance to get negative feedback, and somebody doesn't get a free item. So that's why I do it. You do you. This is just what I do for my business, and it, as you see, happens frequently, which is also why I do that. This is a vintage copy of Wuthering Heights. Was beautiful, which is why I saved it. These little quarter copies, super floppy, really neat, especially since this is from 1939. So this was at the bottom of a bin at the bins. I love going to the bins. I pretty much fill up my entire cart with books and then sprinkle a little clothing on top. But I love picking up books at the bins because this is a book that is 80 years old that was going to get thrown in the dumpster, and it was perfectly fine. That just makes my heart so sad. So I was able to save this lovely little book. It went to a good home, and I made some really nice profit off of it. It sold for $4.87, so really happy with this sale. Again, not everybody is down for making like $4, but I'm down for making $4 and saving a book from the trash. In fact, I will even save this book from the trash because this was also in the bins. I got this for 50 cents at the bins. It is Trump's first edition, The Art of the Deal. And this, surprisingly, sold to a global shipping person. That is not what the GSP sounds like. Global shipping program is what it's called for eBay when it does international sales. I don't know where in the world this went. I did not look that hard. This person just paid basically $19 for the book and then almost that amount of money to have it shipped to them wherever they are in the world. So they really wanted this book, and I saved another book from the landfill, which I think is great. And it sold for $19, so I made a really nice profit to go from 50 cents to $19. So I'm happy that this sold. Regardless of your politics, Trump's stuff sells very well. If the first editions of his book, as you can see, sell well. His ties actually sell pretty well. Some of that stuff can sell pretty well. Next item is a free to me item. This is something from Carolyn and Ernie when they cleaned out their closet. It's a pair of Express shorts. They were cut off, black shorts, again, black denim. Sells super well for me. Doesn't matter, even something like Express, it will sell. This was free to me, so I was perfectly happy to list it. Also, shorts are legitimately the easiest things for me to list. So very happy, sold for $6. Glad I went on to a new home, and Carolyn and Ernie, thank you again for the donation. The next two items came from the same estate sale, so I paid $5 for each of these pieces. This is from the 70s. It is an open linen cardigan by Mary O'Donnell. I picked it up because I thought it was beautiful. It did have a stain on it that I was able to get out. It was white and open. It is giving me very much art teacher vibes. But it did eventually sell, and it sold for $19.40. There were very few clothes at this estate sale because I went on the last day. It makes me wonder what clothes were there before I got there because the closets were pretty empty, and a lot of the stuff that were still in the closets were beautiful vintage pieces, but a lot of them had like severe flaws like moth holes and stuff. So I picked the stuff up that didn't. This is another linen piece, which is why I didn't have, pretty much I picked up all the linen stuff that was still there because all the wool stuff had moth holes in it. And she had some beautiful dresses from like the 40s and 50s. I was so sad I couldn't save them, but they were too far gone. This was Piazza Simponi. I'm hopefully not butchering that as bad as I think I am. I also paid $5 for this, and it sold for $15. This is a decent Italian brand, but it doesn't have much of an American market. So it was a nice top, still sold for $15, so I still made a profit off of it. You guys know how much I love selling books, and I do actually sell lots of books, so more than one book at a time. Okay, there's no way I can say this and it's not confusing. I sold a lot of 3 Maximum Ride books, so it's 1 through 3. All of them were first edition hardcovers of this series. One of them had pre-owned written in it, and I just disclosed that, but it did sell for my entire amount, so $17.87. I did pick these up for Thriftmas, and I paid $6 in total for them, but I knew that they would sell for about this amount of money, and someone just bought it outright, so super happy about that. So this is a Fix It Friday success story. I actually just relisted this. And I did promoted listings. It did not sell through promoted listings. It just sold, and it sold for my full asking price. So to have a piece that I have literally had for like 3 years sell for full price the day after I relisted it, that feels so satisfying. I paid $4.50 for this shirt 3 years ago, and it sold for my full asking price of $17.87. I'm guessing it's more like 3.5 years ago. I don't know, I've had this piece for a really long time, back when like picking up Tommy Hilfiger and like vintage Nautica and Ralph Lauren was like the vogue thing to do in reselling. If you've been in the space for a while, you know what I'm talking about, that era of reselling. It is no longer in that era of reselling, and yet it is, because 90s and Y2K is in, but it's more Abercrombie and Fitch and American Eagle and Hollister, like that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter, it's just switched over to a new set of mall brands. Sold for $17.87. Very nice. This is a shirt you guys have seen me wear multiple times. It's Kiwi Fresh. It is not a great brand to pick up. I just really like the shirt, and I thought I looked really cute in it. And it is now no longer going to be in my closet, and you will never see it again unless, you know, I find another one. But it was just a really cute pink Hawaiian shirt that fit me really well, and even though I personally don't like pink, I look really good in it, at least according to you guys. So I did wear it on occasion, and so not only did I get great use out of it, but I also doubled my money on it. It sold for $12, and I paid $4 for this at a thrift store, so pretty happy about that. It's a pair of vintage 90s Bugle Boy black denim. It's sold very quickly for me. Again, vintage black denim does really well for me. I almost always pick it up when I see it. If it's made in the USA, it's black, it's in good shape. Even when it's not in good shape, it's sometimes like some choice distressing can make it sell even faster. But it sold for $24, and I paid $8 for these at a thrift store. These next two items are a viewer sale. Jen, thank you very much. This is very sweet of you. She purchased these two mugs for me. One of them was the Rainbow Harry Styles type of mug. It's an FTDA mug. And then my Heroin Bob partner mug, which is purple. I know on my last video, Dusty said you should make merch and it says purple people love purple. Well, I already have merch, and I have it in purple. So whenever you drink your coffee, you could just think purple people of purple, because it's already purple, and it's already Heroin Bob, which is me. Hi, I'm Heroin Bob. I don't feel like anybody, I've said that in a while. Bob is not my real name. Bob is what I go at on the internet. Heroin Bob was my roller derby name. Unfortunately, due to my disability and also COVID, I have retired from roller derby for the foreseeable future. Maybe one day I'll get back to it, but because of my disability and because I don't have, because I'm immunocompromised, unfortunately I don't feel comfortable going back to a full body contact sport where there are many fluids shared. That sounds grody, but it's, you know, I've had slobber and blood and mucus on me. You don't need to know that. Okay, whatever. I'm not going back to derby anytime soon, but if you want purple people of purple merch, you can just buy one of my purple mugs, like Jen did. Jen, thank you very much. I hope you love the mugs, and I really do appreciate you buying them for me. And I hope that every time you drink some cup of coffee or a tea, you have a cup of something, you think of me, and that makes me really happy. Sorry, Moxie is being very needy right now. Speaking of coffee mugs, I sold another one. This is an Otakiri coffee mug. I pick up most vintage Otakiri when I find it. I actually managed to find an 80s catalog for Otakiri, which has helped me immensely be able to date and give patterns as well, because not all Otakiri is marked Otakiri. Sometimes they have the sticker on them, and then if you've used your coffee mug enough time, that sticker is long gone. So it helps a lot. This is like quintessential Otakiri style with the brown speckling and the boat scene, and it's sold pretty quickly for $9.87. I paid $1 for this. I also paid $1 for the rainbow mug that Jen bought, so thank you very much. I do not recommend picking up Levi's signature jeans unless they are vintage or new with tags, which this was. This is a brand new pair of Levi's signature jeans, and so I paid $9 for these at the thrift store, and they sold for $22. My business model is I hope to double my money, and I doubled my money. I bought them for $9 and I sold them for $22. So that's what I want to do. Again, you do you, but I was perfectly happy accepting this offer, especially since this is about what they would cost if they bought them off of a website like Walmart or Amazon. I think that's pretty great. To be able to compete with them in pricing. But some people don't want to support brands like Walmart and Amazon, so they'll go to places like eBay to buy stuff, which is also how they end up buying books from me as well. Also, I'm very sorry that the focus keeps changing in my videos. I've noticed that when I'm editing, and I'm so sorry. My camera is reaching the end of its life cycle. It is like 6 years old, 7 years old, and it also has gone to multiple countries and continents with me. So I think it's just ending it's getting to the end of its life cycle. I sold this set of ceramic book spice racks. This I got it in a estate sale. I just didn't want it to get smashed and trashed. It actually came with 2 drawers. It should have come with 2 drawers, but one of the drawers was in shambles by the time I got it. So I just took those out and just sold the rack and the book spice rack, whatever. I sold this. I paid $4 for it. It sold for $10. So I'm perfectly happy to save some vintage ceramic from the garbage. This is a pair of Calvin Klein women's size 29/8 Bermuda shorts. And then the last thing I have to share with you is a book, because I've gotten all kinds of books and mugs. Books and mugs. I didn't have any ties or pearl snaps this time. I think those are the 4 things I'm most known for selling, is books and mugs and ties and pearl snaps. So this is a copy of the Hardy's Boys. This is what the original hardcovers look like without their dust jacket. I also found this at the bins, and I paid 50 cents for it because it was a hardcover. Even without the dust jacket, it still sold for $4.87. I do pick up these Hardy Boys and the Nancy Drew books when they are either first edition, when they have the blue top, when they have the dark blue top. Those are the ones I pick up, or these really old ones because I know that these are the original printing of them. But really happy to have sales. I know it's a lot of smaller sales, but they do add up, and that's kind of how my March went. Spoiler alert, it's just a lot of small sales. But I will get to those eventually because I am trying to catch up, which is why you guys have been seeing more uploads. It's like I gotta get there. And so I appreciate you guys' patience, and I hope you are having a good day doing whatever it is you're doing, and you got some work done while you were watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye! Bye. But I am happy to be able to have my milk braids back, because my milkmaids. I am happy to have my milkmaid braids back because it just makes doing my hair so much easier. You just, and I'm done. That was so articulate. I promise I have a degree in something.